I had been waiting for a kidney transplant. My health was fragile, my days clouded by exhaustion. Finally, the doctor told me my name was near the top of the donor list. Relief surged through me like light after darkness. That evening, my parents sat me down in the living room.
Claire, we need to talk about your medical fund.
The transplant money? What about it?
We used it.
What? Used it for what?
Matthew got accepted into the European Youth Music Tour. Paris, Rome, Vienna, it's life-changing. This is his chance.
You took my life-saving money to pay for his trip?
Stop being selfish. You'll survive a little longer. Matthew's career can't wait.
That was the day something inside me broke. I realized I wasn't just unloved, I was disposable. If not for my grandmother, I wouldn't be alive today. Grandma was the only one who saw me, not as background, not as disposable, but as Claire. She sold some of her land. My name is Claire, and I can tell you the exact moment I stopped being my parents' daughter. It was the day Matthew was born. I was 4 years old, standing in the hospital room with pigtails and a teddy bear in my arms, excited to meet my baby brother. Mom looked tired but glowing. Dad beamed with pride. They let me peek into the cradle.
That's my boy, my son, our pride.
He didn't look at me. He didn't even notice me tugging at his sleeve, wanting to be held. From that day forward, the spotlight belonged to Matthew. And me? I became the background blur. At first, it was little things. When I drew a picture at kindergarten, Mom would say,
"That's nice, Claire,"
and set it aside. When Matthew scribbled on a napkin, Dad would tape it to the fridge like it was the Mona Lisa. When we both got sick, Mom would sit by Matthew's bed with soup, while I was told to be strong. On my 7th birthday, I got socks and a secondhand doll. On Matthew's 3rd birthday, he got a toy car with flashing lights, balloons, and a backyard party. I learned early that nothing I did mattered as much as his existence. As we grew, the favoritism became sharper.
Claire, do the dishes before bed.
Claire, help your brother with his homework. Claire, get me some water.
If I said no.
Don't upset your brother, just do it.
Once, at age 10, I won a small writing contest. I rushed home, certificate in hand. Mom, Dad, look, I won first prize.
That's good, Claire. But listen, Matthew's soccer coach says he might make varsity in a few years.
My triumph dissolved like sugar in hot water. I remember one time I decided to save my allowance. It wasn't much, just a few coins every week, but I had seen a small diary in the shop window. A simple, leather-bound notebook where I could write my thoughts. After 3 months, I finally had enough. I bought it with trembling hands and held it close, like treasure. That evening, Matthew saw me writing in it.
What's that?
It's my diary. Give it back.
Why do you get nice things? I want one too.
I bought it with my allowance. You can save yours.
No! Give it to me, now!
He screamed, stomped his feet, and threw himself onto the floor, wailing like the world had ended. Mom and Dad came rushing in.
What did you do to him?
Nothing! He wants my diary!
Then give it to him. He's younger. Don't be selfish, Claire.
But I saved for months.
Stop arguing and hand it over.
With tears burning my eyes, I gave Matthew my diary. He scribbled nonsense all over the pages, then tossed it into the fireplace before bed. That was the first time I realized my dreams meant nothing if Matthew wanted them too. A year later, Grandma gave me a necklace for my birthday. It wasn't expensive, just a small silver chain with a heart pendant. But it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever owned. I wore it every day. One afternoon while I was doing homework, Matthew stormed into my room.
I want to try on your necklace.
No, it's special. Grandma gave it to me.
So what? She likes you more than me anyway.
Before I could stop him, he yanked it off my neck. The chain snapped, and the pendant fell to the floor. He stomped on it until the silver bent out of shape. I cried, clutching the broken pieces. Why would you do that?
Because I can.
When I told Mom and Dad, they didn't scold him.
It's just a necklace. Stop overreacting.
You know how sensitive Matthew is. Don't provoke him next time.
I learned then that Matthew could destroy anything I loved, and they would still call him the victim. By the time we were teenagers, Matthew knew his role, the star, and he played it well. He threw tantrums, demanded things, got away with everything.
I don't even have to try. They'll always take my side.
He was right. At 16, when I asked for new shoes because mine had holes, Dad said,
Money doesn't grow on trees. Stop being spoiled.
That same weekend, Mom bought Matthew sneakers worth 3 times the price.
Matthew can't go to school looking poor. People notice him.
But the lowest point came years later, when I was 20. I had been waiting for a kidney transplant. My health was fragile, my days clouded by exhaustion. Finally, the doctor told me my name was near the top of the donor list. Relief surged through me like light after darkness. That evening, my parents sat me down in the living room.
Claire, we need to talk about your medical fund.
The transplant money? What about it?
We used it.
What? Used it for what?
Matthew got accepted into the European Youth Music Tour. Paris, Rome, Vienna, it's life-changing. This is his chance.
You took my life-saving money to pay for his trip?
Stop being selfish. You'll survive a little longer. Matthew's career can't wait.
That was the day something inside me broke. I realized I wasn't just unloved, I was disposable. If not for my grandmother, I wouldn't be alive today. Grandma was the only one who saw me, not as background, not as disposable, but as Claire. She sold some of her land, quietly paid for my transplant, and sat by my hospital bed while I recovered.
Don't waste your tears on them, child. One day they'll reap what they've sown.
I clung to her words. It wasn't the only betrayal. Months later, after moving out, I scraped together enough savings to buy a tiny 2-bedroom house. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine, my first true sanctuary. One afternoon, Dad knocked at my door, Matthew at his side.
We need to talk. You should transfer this house into Matthew's name.
Excuse me? I bought this place with my own money.
Matthew needs stability for his future. You'll marry and move into your husband's house anyway.
No, absolutely not. A week later, I received a court notice. My parents had filed charges against me. False accusations of harassment and aggression toward Matthew. You did this? To your own daughter?
For Matthew, yes.
I nearly lost the house. I fought tooth and nail, drained my savings on lawyers, and barely came out with it intact. That was when I stopped calling them family. Years passed. My health returned. I built a career. Slowly, brick by brick, I carved out independence. Matthew, meanwhile, spiraled. His so-called European tour ended after 1 year. He drifted from gig to gig, drinking, partying, using drugs. My parents kept covering for him, bailing him out of fights, buying him new cars, paying for rehab he never took seriously. It turned out Matthew had been borrowing money from the wrong people. Shady dealers, loan sharks, the kind who don't send polite reminders. He refused to pay them back, bragging that my parents will cover it. But this time, they didn't. One night, neighbors heard shouting at his apartment. The men he owed had broken in. Shots rang out. By the time the police arrived, Matthew was already gone. I still remember the police officer's words at the funeral.
Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, I'm sorry. Your son was found with a fatal gunshot wound. Evidence suggests a drug-related altercation. He owed money to dangerous individuals.
No, my baby wouldn't do drugs.
Ma'am, we found paraphernalia in his apartment. He had been using for months.
Dad collapsed right there, clutching his chest. Mom shook her head, whispering over and over, "Not my Matthew. Not my Matthew." Mom cried so violently she nearly fainted. Within weeks, her health crumbled. Heart problems, depression, fainting spells. I didn't reach out. I didn't visit. I cut them off. Meanwhile, I thrived. I got promoted, I invested, I met a man who cherished me. He was wealthy, kind, and saw me as his equal, not his shadow. Eventually, he asked me to marry him. Our wedding was magnificent. Music, laughter, a hall filled with friends and family who actually loved me. I walked in wearing a shimmering gown, my husband's hand warm in mine. Then came the interruption. The guard stopped 2 ragged figures at the door. My parents. They looked older, broken, their clothes ill-fitted.
Ma'am, these 2 say they're your parents. Should I let them in?
The room went silent. Everyone turned to me. My parents' eyes pleaded.
Claire, please, let us in. We just want to see you happy.
We're your parents, honey.
I paused, glass of champagne in my hand, And then I smiled, cold, certain. I don't know these people. The guards escorted them out. The door shut. As the music rose again and my guests applauded, I raised my glass. Well, I guess karma finally hit subscribe on their lives. Speaking of which, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories. And for the first time in my life, I felt free.